Hi, I'm Mikey Figueroa. I'm a sophomore at Point Loma. I'm from Orange County, California. I'm majoring in business. So it happened during going into my junior year of high school. Just some background, I didn't have the best relationship with my dad. I kind of formed my opinions or ideas about God and around my dad, and I kind of just thought he was this angry guy who was going to punish me for messing up. Going into my junior year, I just had completely separated myself from God and my family, and started putting myself in bad situations and just situations that I never should have been in. And that ended up leading me into getting a DUI going into my junior year at 16 years old. And I had told my mom what happened, but I was very scared about telling my dad what had happened. And it was a couple weeks that went by, and in those couple weeks I just realized that I needed God in this situation. I just was desperate, like absolutely desperate for God, and knowing that I needed Him. When I actually sat my dad down to tell him what had happened, I was super scared, just fearful and nervous, and I just broke down. I was just broken and just seeing no future. As I told my dad, he was just listening, and then after I told him, he kind of just sat there and soaked it all up. And I was just crying, like not knowing what he was going to say, and he just looked at me and said, "Mikey, I love you. I forgive you. I know you messed up, but I love you." And I just felt this huge weight lifted off of me, and felt this joy and peace in knowing that I didn't have to have it all together to know God or for God to love me. And God showed me that through my dad, and it was awesome being able to see that just come to life, and knowing that Jesus died for me in my brokenness and in my sin, and not in me having everything together, but just Him loving me no matter what. So the impact of my dad just showing that love to me was absolutely insane. Definitely changed my relationship with my dad. I started to see him more as a loving father, and started to see grace. And God was just revealing so much grace to me through my dad, and just how my dad loved me, and that even if my life was messy, He was still going to love me. Just as far as what I was doing, I definitely felt like I didn't have to do those things anymore, not because of the rules, but just because God loved me so much. I was able to walk in the freedom of not having to go to parties or not having to impress the people around me, but just wanting to live for God. Now that I've seen that love like in my life, I think it's helped me just be able to see that no matter what, like if people have it together or not, God loves them. So I think it's my responsibility to love them no matter what. Me and my dad have definitely just been experiencing a lot of healing, and been able to grow super close over the past couple of years. And my dad's a Christian, so we've just been able to form like a relationship centered around Jesus, and it's been absolutely amazing just to see that transformation and like God's healing. Even though like that experience definitely changed me, it didn't make following Jesus any easier. Like my life after knowing Jesus has still been hard, and like still struggling with sin and stuff, but I can look back on that moment and just know that God still has that grace for me, and that He's not looking at me like mad, but He's looking at me with open arms, and just wanting to welcome me back into His grace and into His love.